Hey traders, Parker again with another video. I wanted to show you the application of the supply and demand indicator, and I have two screens open. One is an hour and one is the daily. The reason why I have the hourly open is because I built the scan for the supply and demand indicator. You can have the cross up, and basically what's in the scan is this. You can have a cross up, a cross down. You want to go bears, or cross up to bullish, and a bear scan is when another up fractal is created. You can probably predict that the stock is going to go down for a little bit, and a bull scanning was when a lower fractal is created and the stock usually gets a bounce. Right now I have it set up for the bull crossover, and that's where I got the Matterport at. So we'll go back to the charts, and this is the fractal, the up fractal, and Matterport crossed above 1635. So I'm gonna push it down to a lower time frame. So 1635 was back here, yeah. So 1635, you got your cross up basically on this candle. So you could have rolled this candle up. Well, next after you got the signal, rolled it up all the way up to 1703. Right now you're getting a pullback on the on this stock. Still, stocks and everything is real volatile right now, especially after the whole Fed's meeting. And what you're seeing with the colors is the VSA, and this is the volume spread analysis 2.0. If you haven't watched any of my videos on the VSA, I guess I'll go through and explain a little bit on here. But what I wanted to show you exactly was this. This is the daily chart, and we will. How do you do this? Let's see. It's in one of these. What I'm trying to do is isolate the cell. Okay. So now that we have the cell isolated, these gray boxes were built on the daily. I made those from my daily supply and demand indicator. And as you can see, the stock fell through, but like a rubber band, as Ann Coolin talks about, the stock pulled right back up. And you can see it on this daily chart. The supply and demand indicator found it here. It stopped right there, but it was too much selling going on. As you can see with the VSA, you got high volume, ultra high volume coming in and shutting down. The purple candle is like a turn. It's smaller than this candle, and it's has more volume than the previous candle. I apologize. That's from the Ann Coolin book, and it's considered irregular body or divergence when it comes to price and volume. Because in all actuality, because this candle has more volume, you would expect a greater spread, and you're not getting that. So I consider it a turn or a fight in that candle, and it's to the downside. And bears won, and then you got this yellow candle, which is consistent with ultra high volume. And as you can see, this candle is way above, and then you have these two deviations too, so you can just see all this volume coming in. So in one aspect, when you get an ultra high volume to the downside, and after this down move, you can consider it actually bullish, because it's the same principle over here. You got an ultra high volume right here, and all the volume that precedes is lower. But that was the if I'm remembering correctly, this was the selling climax and everything fell, and this right here would be the buying climax where everything stops and the stock reverses. I hope I'm saying that right. But as you can see right here, that box that I created or drew out is from my daily supply and demand indicator. And you got these other boxes as well that I drew that the supply and demand indicator made previously, because I'm in this stock and I'm down in this stock. But I wanted to know where, it could possibly stop, and I can buy down or lower my price on this stock. So let's go back to the daily, and this is what you get. I thought I had VWAP on here, but I must have not have put it on there. Oh, I have it on monthly. So this started over here, didn't it? Yeah, 1-3. So I actually need to push this to 10 days. 10-day 5-minute. So where are December? Here. This is where the month began. As you can see, prices fell right down into all of this right here, well below VWAP. So, and another one, let's look at AMC. I thought I drew those. Oh, I did draw those boxes. So this is a box that I drew from the daily support, supply and demand. Excuse me. It found it also on this 5-minute chart, which I really should have made a 15-minute chart, but we're going to go to the daily and we're going to find where it made it. This on this candle became supply, and this is another churn candle as well, and it has high volume. Then you have this it's ultra high volume as well, but you got 2 volume deviations above normal volume. And this is another churn candle, except for it's the opposite of the purple candles. This is saying that this body is smaller than the previous body, but it has higher volume. And you're in a downtrend at this point. And when you see this, it's another bullish indication. And this, as you can see right here, there's that indicator. I mean, the supply and demand box right there. It's small. You can probably barely see it. I drew this box, but I probably didn't make it to that little wick. But still, it's all the same. That's exactly where AMC stopped at. Right there. So the supply and demand indicator works very, very well. And I also wanted to show you the scan. Right. I already showed you the scan, but this is the Crossup Bull. And it just updated for C. Let's run it again and see what we come up with. And right now I have it set for an hourly cross up. Come on, Thinkorswim. Usually it doesn't take this long, but I wanted to show you how everything worked live. It's in the middle of the day. It's lunchtime. And come on, Thinkorswim. There we go. All right, so I pushed it down to a 30-minute. I don't know what was going on with the hourly, but normally I come down here if I'm looking for low flow stocks. I will push the shares. I mean, push it with the shares, the lowest shares, and MDB. Let's go check that out. This is one I don't believe I've ever looked at. MDB, and this is what you get. So this is the supply and demand indicator on this 5-minute, and you're getting a lot of boxes, and right now it's fighting with this box up here. We'll push it to a 10-day 15. Because you're always going to get better signals on the higher time frames. So it made this fresh supply, demand zone right here, and it regenerated an old demand zone. First, it had to break above this old supply zone. As you can see, it fought above it, and this was created with this candle. And right now, you're expecting, if it breaks above 400, it's going to have to fight above here. But if it pivots back, it's going to go back to 430, and that'll be a $10 move. But we'll go to the 30-minute, and here's your cross up right here, and it's just waiting for this candle to break above it. And you usually want to wait for this candle to close, and especially if you get a close above 439. That's a really, really, real bullish indication. As you can see, it had to fight up through all of this supply right here. When the stock first opened up, they sold it all the way down, which made a smaller body, and yeah, smaller body than the previous candle. And then you have this ultra high volume to the upside where buyers just shot in, and that's what these colors mean. This is one of those churn counters, which is purple. This is the white represents ultra high volume to the upside. This is high volume, and this is below average volume, and this is ultra low volume right here. So this is not a good sign for the stock because it's hitting this resistance right here, and it doesn't have a whole lot of volume powering behind it. And one of the things I'll show you with the VSA has a cloud if you want it to show you the different areas of the averages for for volume. And this right here symbolizes a squeeze as well. Those little pink triangles. So, but the stock is fighting with 439. And how much volume is on it today? It only has 1 million volume. So that's kind of sucks. So this stock, whatever it's doing, is not going to do much with that amount of volume. And then it's a higher price stock as well. But still, let's look on the day. It ran right into the supply demand zone created from this candle, and that's exactly where the stock pushed back up. So we're hoping that this stock will push back up as well. Otherwise, and it also has this gap area to fill from here to here. So let's run back to the scan. Let's find something with a higher volume. So iTub has 17 million. So iTub, ITUB. So this is a stock on a daily. And what we can do is draw out those supply and demand zones. So this is a demand zone. This will be the supply zone, which the stock is currently in and trying to break above. And we have another supply zone up here we can just draw out for future reference if the stock does break above. You know, possibly it could go back up there to 407, but and let's go to the daily and let's see where we are. 30-minute 385. It's crossed above it, and this stock has a volume, but one of the things you have to check out is the volatility of the volume of the stock. When it comes to the volume, this is not going to be very volatile because its 100-day average is 37 million, and today's it's only using 46% of that. The 21-day average is 38 million. It's only using 44% of that. And the 10-day average is 25 million. It's using 67% of that. So unless it has good news or something else, nope, it hasn't had any good news since December 10th, but it looks like it's a banking stock. So with interest rates rising, that's probably one of the reasons why it's going up. And also the RSI is going up and the gamma is going down to give you another indication of the direction of the price. So where is gamma? Gamma is still above 50. And that's my indicator for the dogs. It was one of the stocks I was interested in earlier. And it was making all-time highs, and I was waiting for this pullback right here. It went through these supply. Well, this was a supply zone, even though it's not showing because the close is still above it or was still above it. But at the close of this day, it'll reappear to show you, hey, it's gonna work at this resistance or supply area. And according to my Fibonacci is coming back to the 61.8, And here's a supply zone. Here's a demand zone, and we're going. This is the fresh demand zone, and these are these other ones that I drew out also for the daily. So let's push it to where we are now on the 30-minute chart. Crack below this crack below this demand where it was. Once it breaks above supply, it becomes demand, but it couldn't hold. It stopped there and shot back down and broke through it on high volume. Well, I'm not going to call that high volume. That's just above average volume. So, and this stock is doing a lot. Well, not necessarily, because its 100-day average is 1 million and it's using 42.6. So what is today? Today is using 4 million. So it's using a lot of its stuff, but one of the reasons why, because this stock was at its 52-week high. So it's making fresh highs, and because of the downturn in the market, it's going to go down as well. But it stopped right there on that Fibonacci that I had drawn out. And I was planning on getting in the stock here, but I'm doing this video, so I'll wait till the end of the day and see what the stock does. But you can see gamma is below 50 and RSI is moving to the downside, so it's just showing that it's feeling downside pressure. So let's go look at Tesla. Tesla right now is on a move up. I drew this demand zone box. Drew these boxes out from the supply and demand area. Indicator. And if you look right here, it created this huge supply demand area. And now it needs to break above this $1,077.81. This is the freshest supply zone that was created on a 30-minute, and you also got 2 areas up here for supply. So we'll see if Tesla can break above that. Let's look at it on daily. And here's that demand zone that I drawn out. Here's another demand zone. It almost came into it. One of the things I also add into the supply and demand zone indicator are these levels, and they're basically just based off of the range between the up fractal and down fractal, or supply and demand zones. So I'm going to choose not to hide those, and let's get them on the screen. And this box is white and pink. White is above the 50% and pink is below the 50%. And that's, for me, it's bullish above that area. But anyway, this yellow line is 50%. This is 10% from this fractal area right here, from this supply zone. And this is 10% from this this demand zone. And then you get an additional 10% below this demand zone. And you have the 50, and you also get 100% below the demand zone. So we're not expecting it to go that low, but I put those on there just an indication for me, because I care about things being 10% away from certain areas. And you can see my Fibonacci levels. That's exactly what I have on them as well. This will be 0, and that'll be 10% away from the low. This is 100, and then that'll be 10% away from the high. From the highest level of the Fibonacci. And right now, Tesla, I guess you can say it's a dragonfly doji, and it's just waiting to break out. All these labels on the VSA you can turn off or on. But for me, volume is the measure of volatility. Its 100-day average on Tesla is 23 million. It's doing 89% of that. It's showing red because right now the candle is red. Even though it's green because of my VSA indicator. You got more buying than you do selling on this candle, even though it's still below its open. So that's another feature of the VSA. But anyway, you got 21. This 21-day average is 23 million. It's using 89% of that. That's strange. It's so close to the 100-day. In 10 days, 23 million. And it's using 89% of that. This purple just indicates bad things. You know, it's negative, just like the red. And today's average is 21 million, and it's 87% of the day's day average. And then you have the current bar is going to show you the same thing as today. And this is the average bar average, current bars average or current day average since we're on a day chart. And you got the 78% of this candle is buying, while 28% of it is selling. Oh, I'm not gonna go back. So we'll just go back to Tesla chart right here. RSI is rising, but gamma is rising with it, and that's for me, it's a negative confluence because you don't want gamma rising as RSI rises. You want gamma going down as RSI rises, which is a divergence between the two. But right now they're confluent, and it's saying that gamma represents fuel or fractal energy for the stock, and it's rising too. And for me, that's a negative indicator because the RSI is rising too. So, but we're going to see which one breaks 50. If RSI breaks 50, where is it right now? RSI is at 40. No, gamma is at 45. RSI is at 49. So we're looking for RSI to break above 50 and gamma to break lower. And like I said, this is that 50% area, and it's above 50% of the range of the supply and demand zone. So let's go to, what's another popular stock? A lot of people is talking about PROG. So same situation. You had this huge supply area right here, which it rolled through, then it broke it. And for me, it works just the same as support and resistance. And once a supply zone is broken, once the demand zone is broken, it becomes supply, and it's just weeding its way in there. And then you got another supply area created as well. And that's that 50% between the demand and supply zone. And let's look at it on daily. And right now, you got way too many lines on my chart. So I need to just go ahead and shut these off. I'll leave the cloud on. And we're paying attention to my Fibonacci levels and also the supply and demand. You got all this demand. All this supply, overhead supply that PROG needs to break above. You got this area right here of demand. It's been in this down wedge. It broke out, but it couldn't. The momentum couldn't keep it going. And right now, you have this fresh fractal area right here, supply area, and you have this freshest demand areas right here, and we have 100%, 100-day average volume is 57 million. So I'm using 10% of that, 40% of 21, 43 of the 10-day. And 43 of the daily. So it's not that volatile right now, but you still, on this candle, you got roughly 60, I'm going to say 70% of it is buying, while 30% of it is selling. But what I don't like is below the monthly VWAP. And gamma is rising above 50, but you got some bullish divergence here, So hopefully for PRG has something coming up on the 10th. Some type of showcase of the peel and gastrointestinal news. So hopefully that pushes stock up. And let's look at, well, let's just go back to the scan. And let's look at the greatest percent chance. And we'll go data, DADA. And it's done on a 30-minute, but this is the daily chart. This is the freshest demand areas below VWAP on a monthly. So let's go to 3 years. I'm trying to get some type of implication of where this stock came from and possibly nope, you're not getting any of that on this one. This thing's only been around since 20. So let's take it back to the 1 year chart. And for this to be a bullish, right now it's working on lower than average volume. It needs to get back above this area of demand of 1175. Let's see if it has any news. Data Group announced its data now the JDD platform world stay open with 1 hour. It's Chinese stock, so no, we're staying away. And let's look at you. I'm in the stock too. I'm down in this. I didn't use supply and demand when I bought this. But anyway, it's in this demand area. It's coming from this candle right here. And as you can see, the stock is turning around. We'll draw it to show on the daily chart. And it broke through these areas of demand. So it's going to have to fight its way back up here. And this is the freshest demand area. And bad news just shot everything down. But it did stop there. And it has high volume on the day. As you can see, it's using 100% of its daily average, 102% of its 21-day average, 135% of its 10-day average, and 135% of its daily average. So this bar, this day, today we're using 3 million. The current volume is 3 million. And that average, today's average is 2 million. 84% of this is buying. So we're going to this 30-minute chart. These were those 2 areas I drew out right here. It did crack, but it came right back up to this demand. It created another demand box on the hourly. And right now it's fighting with this 124 supply zone. And it has this demand box that reappear because closes above it. And it's going to act as support also here and here. So let's push it down to the 15-minute. And that's exactly what happened. Different colors of candle tells you what happened. This is greater. This is high, ultra high volume. And this candle's the first candle of the day is always going to be ultra high volume. But when it creates the average, it's averaging those candles in there. And you got ultra high volume is right here as well. To the downside, also to the downside. But it created a demand area, which you got ultra high volume pushing it right back up. High volume, ultra high volume to the upside. Ultra high volume right here, but this would be a high wave candle. And right now the volume is slipped lower than average or ultra low volume. And as you can see, it's lunchtime, so that's what you would expect. So we're really looking for the move in power hour or after 1 o'clock. So let's see. CLNE. Or let's go to the back to the hour, or let's see what happened on this day. All right, this is everything that broke above its supply zone on this day, and this is the greatest percent change. But this is a garbage. I looked at it earlier. It shot up. Yeah, it shot up, and right now it's down. You had ultra high volume to the upside, pre-market. It fought up here, and as soon as the market opened, you had ultra high volume to shut it back down, and it's trading right now with lower than average volume, but it's also in the squeeze as well. So it could see another pop above. Let's look at it on daily. And that's all I really wanted to show you was the application of the scan and the application of this actual supply zone indicator, and some of the features that I add into. As you can see, you got the bubbles right there, and I also added in the risk reward as well, but it's not going to show on the day, but it will show on a lower time frame. If price pops above, you get a stop loss, and you'll get a target as well. And that's been the supply and demand zone indicator application, and the scan, and the VSA indicator, and RSI with gamma. I hope you all enjoyed this. I appreciate you all sticking around to the end. And also, if you have any questions or anything, leave me a comment in the comment area. Or if you like this video, like it. And if you didn't, leave me a dislike. And also, shoot me an email as well at cwparker23indicators.com if you have any other questions. And if you haven't subscribe to the channel, and you'll get my newest videos. Thanks, y'all. Have a great year.